Hey guys, so today I'm going to talk to you about what exactly I've been doing for the past year. I know I haven't been posting tons of videos. My most recent video was The Enthusiast, which was for the Blue Balloon. Recently, I've been working so much on this album that I've basically lost track of all videos and things like that. Very proud of what I've been doing though. I guess I'll get started off with talking about a few of the tracks, and then I'll get into what the album's about and what exactly, I was working for when making this album. First off, we have the Blue Balloon, which is the album cover right there, but I have probably a clear picture on my iPod right now. That is the Blue Balloon's album cover, courtesy of Milo Miller, who painted an amazing picture for me. I'll get more into that later. What is the Blue Balloon? How did that come to be? The Blue Balloon started with a small song that actually ended up on the album called Ask for Mercy. I got very inspired by a few progressions that I had made on guitar, and I have to say that this year has definitely been a turning point for my music. I've really, I think, grown as an artist, including with some of my tracks, some of the titles and the songs, a lot more. It's the first album to have percussion, which is fantastic. I have a lot of people tell me all the time, that people are like, "Oh, Philip, I want to dance," and I'm like, well, that's not really my forte. I don't love working on the drums and things like that. I don't really have the talent as much for it. My dad was a drummer. I'm not. But I did take the time this year round, and it took about 6 hours just recording different tracks and different things for the Blue Balloon, including the drums, including the shaker, including things like that, just to add a little more sound to my album, along with the lead playing and the harmonies and the echoes. And now I think, I've got a lot of good reviews on this album, and I'm super proud of that. I'm very happy about that, because I didn't feel like the album would get as popular as it did, which isn't to say that it's super popular, but it's the first album that I think people are really taking into heart and thinking like, wow, this is actually, listen to, like, it's you can listen to it and not get bored. that's a goal for me. That was a goal, and I did that. The album starts off with a big kick of My City, My Nightmares, which is a fantastic song, my favorite on the album, because the lyrics are just gorgeous. My favorite lyric out of the whole album, hands down, is "What good is good enough?" from My City, My Nightmares, and why does everyone want to change me? I love that song. It's the opener, it's got the drums, it's got the beat, and it's easy to follow, it's easy to fall in love with, and instantly, I think, if you listen to it on iTunes or Spotify, which the Blue Balloon did make it on, including Amazon Music and Move, which is great, but as soon as you hear that song, it kind of pulls you into the whole album, I feel like. I've also heard that it really makes it flow. It's the starter song that really, it's, instead of being an intro like I have done on a few of my albums, I agreed with a few of my consultants, aka, my girlfriend and my mother, that this album did not need an intro. It did not need one. It just needed to jump straight into the album, because that's kind of what life's like, and that'll come in later on what the Blue Balloon's about. A lot of great tracks on here that are very similar to that, such as A Woven Child, huge percussion, huge bass, wonderful song, very loud and different for something I do. A lot of voice work there too. Money Bought Happiness is a special kind of rhythmic flow to it. The percussion is very different. A lot of shaker in this too. 1996 doesn't have any of that, but that's one of my favorite songs. It's very easy, good flow to it. You'll feel the beat when you're listening to it. Just going off of that, though, I'll start talking about what the album is about. And I'm so proud to announce how much of a struggle it was to come up with the concept for this album, and how much I enjoyed writing it, though. It all started with a small song called The Blue Balloon and Ask for Mercy. The Blue Balloon was actually just a working title. It was a thought. Actually, it was called The Story of the Blue Balloon, which is crap now that I think about it. being this as my third album. If you haven't heard Troubled, which was supposed to be my third, it's been taken down. Don't worry about it. If there was a popular demand for it, I'll put it back. But right now, I'm not that popular. I wish I was. If people start asking for it, I'll put it out like, what? He has another album? But no. With The Blue Balloon being my third album, I wanted to make it very different from Primary Colors and Seasons. Seasons grew so much on me. It really did. It made me feel like I was really developing as an artist, especially coming from Primary Colors and learning how to master my tracks and do different, vocals and overlay and all kinds of stuff. The reverb, making that so careful so it's not like, oh God, this is so annoying, and making it like, oh God, this is so good. Those two different things are very important. I felt like The Blue Balloon needed a very good subject, and I ended up coming with the concept of just life in general. And now the thing is that I made it two different ways. Either you're kind of, life is great, God is good, people make things great for me, I have great friends, and also the album reflects to sometimes I don't know where I am in life. There are things that I feel like I cannot get, I can't reach. Sometimes I feel like I have to rely on myself. Like there is no help. It's just me. And then it also pertains to, where am I going to go from here? And I love that because I could have been like this positive, indie, oh my God, life is perfect, everybody smile and clap. And it's like, no, that's not what the album is. The album is, hey, let's clap along, but let me think about this. Oh God, another clapping song, but hold on, let me think about this one too. I think that's, it's really important for people to understand that the album is not all, strawberry festivals and daisies. It's more of like, there are rainy days and there are sunny days. And that's important for you to know. Especially with tracks like, let me see, The Blue Balloon is very mellow. It's dedicated to my friend Paul Mailman, which I will get into later. As well as like 1996, very mellow, very drifty. And The Enthusiast, which actually picks up and slows down. It picks up and slows down. Same as we heard it from The Basement. Very slow intro, and then boom, you don't see it coming. Whoa, life is happy. Just special things to make the album so diverse from everything else that I've made. I've had a lot of compliments off this album based on the fact that people tell me it's not boring. What? A Philip Griggs album that's not boring, thank God. And it's something, like I said, you can listen to, and you'll listen to the whole thing, and I think really you get a grasp on every track. Like I said before though, it's on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, and Move, and any website you can think of. It's probably on there. That's the best part about this one. I would definitely recommend, unlike other artists, I'm not going to go say, buy my album. Go give me money. Especially the money I'm going to use goes towards my music equipment. And a few lunches every now and then for when I'm recording. Honestly, it's the best policy. But who doesn't love Chick-fil-A? The thing is that when you go to Spotify, be sure to check it out first. Don't just rush to buy it. See what you like. Purchase a few songs. I don't mind saying that not everybody's gonna love every song on the album, but that is not true. I have had people say, this is the album that has made me a fan of you. I'm like, wow, that's fantastic. But I don't want people to think that I'm just gonna take that for granted. I'm not just gonna, be like, sell. I'm gonna do a hard copy version 2 that'll be $11, but it'll have 2 bonus songs. See, so I'm not just gonna lowball you saying, hey, here's a hard copy. If you already heard the original copy, pay more money. I'm gonna give you something for it. I appreciate you supporting me. I appreciate the love from everybody that has been giving me, the positive feedback and the great compliments. Everybody's been so wonderful about this one. I didn't always get good reviews about my albums, but people have been really supportive on this. Going into what, like I said, the album is about just life in general. Life is short, people take things for granted all the time, and the album really reflects on me because, me and other people's stories that I've known over time. 1996 pertains a lot to me, and so does Tip of Your Tongue. You Can Taste the Bitter Man I Once Was from that song. I mean, amazing lyrics. Absolutely flawless. I cried when writing it. I was just so surprised at how wonderful this song was. a few of the songs on SoundCloud, such as Money Bought Happiness and Obsession, were posted in order for people to preview the tracks. If you don't want to go to Spotify and hear it randomly, you can go on SoundCloud and listen to those 2 tracks. If you had followed me on Instagram, you might have seen that there are a few titles. You're probably like, well, where did those go? December was changed to Luca Halvorsen, as well as I took out the whole song, But We Could Breathe Underwater, which became Obsession. Great choruses. Now, the thing is, a great chorus. The thing is about this album is that I finally took everybody's advice, and when they said, Philip, I love your music. I love it. It's fantastic, but you suck at writing choruses. Everything is so not catchy. It's awful. And I'm like, well, I'm glad you enjoyed the story, but I'm sorry you can't dance to it, or, keep a, catchiness in your head, like a catchy line. I fixed that. A lot of the songs on here, such as The Enthusiast, where I'm like, and dream what it must feel like to be loved, and let me just imagine for a moment. It's like, the songs really catch your ears, and you're like, oh, wow, that's a different line. Money Bought Happiness has that was the first chorus I wrote that really got me working on them, got the wheels rolling, with Sweet Dreams Tonight, Sweet Dreams for Now, Sweet Dreams for the Weekend, and Sleep Safe and Sound, and it kind of repeats itself, and it's not an annoying, repetitive thing. I worked really hard to make sure that it was appealing to the ear. I will start by saying, thank you to Milo Miller for the amazing album art. Matt Levine is currently making CDs for me with the hard copies. We're going to be publishing those, and it's going to be awesome. If you feel free to message me or tell me if you'd like a hard copy CD, and I will definitely find a way to ship that to you if you're in another state or anything. I've had people ask me if I'm going to be sending them, and the answer is yes. I will do my best to do that. Just be sure to let me know if you want a hard copy. They are $11. Probably be creating a PayPal account, something like that. All the music goes to supporting my music and helping me, become a better artist and having different equipment, different instruments and things, and, work on better projects in the future. And fingers crossed this album gets discovered by Ellen or a famous artist finds me, because I'd really love to get this album out there. But talking about, talking about thanks and things, the song The Blue Balloon is dedicated to a friend of mine named Paul Mailman. And Paul Mailman was an amazing individual, such a beautiful person. I've never met anybody exactly like him. And no matter how many faces I meet, no matter how many voices I hear, no one will ever replace, who he was to me. And I think when I met him in theater class a few years back, and I showed him some of my music. I don't just get to know people. I don't say like, hey, how are you, and I become best friends with them. I try to get to know that person to see if I'm really compatible in making a good relationship with them. And this man was such a different person, so unique, so full of life. Like I said, you never meet anybody like him. Everywhere he went, he was like the most popular guy you'd ever meet. And he never took that for granted. He was friends with everybody. The people who didn't like him were the people that nobody liked. It was like, either you loved him and people loved you, or you hated him and people didn't like you. So, it was devastating. He did pass away from a car accident. And I loved him very much. And I never really realized it or got to say it to him, probably as I should have said, you're like a brother to me now. I appreciate the fact that you see me. He said I was different, and I appreciate the fact that he saw me as somebody who really was down to earth instead of just, out there for the popularity or for the friends or anything. I'm not into that. I'm just into, making the best of things as I can. And I have to thank his mother. Thank you so much, if you're watching this, for allowing me to put his name in there. And it was very gracious of you to allow me to honor him in some way, and that he will never be forgotten. as long as this album is out there, as long as I have, a notebook with his name in it, thank you for that, Miss L. And I definitely, like I said, I have to give some thanks to everybody who's inspired me to write this album. A lot of different artists, such as from Indian Lakes, who really got me kicking with playing guitar a certain way and singing a certain way, having higher notes and a better falsetto, things like that. I recently got into Tyler the Creator. I know people might be like, how is Wolfgang even inspiring you at all? And the fact is that he's just such an amazing, different individual. I can't get enough of his music. Now, some of the stuff is controversial. It's very, offensive and things like that. But I'm not really listening to those lyrics. I'm listening to the beats. I'm listening to the lyrics where he's talking about his father and his, and his thoughts on how, growing up was hard for him and things. And that really inspired me on this album. I felt like, either you're going to take the bad with the good, or you're not really going to understand anything at all. And that's kind of how life works. You pitch and you catch. And if you don't, then you're not really playing the game. So, that Philip Griggs quote. Definitely talk about, some of the titles that had changed. We talked about that. Bene Vidi Vici, one of my favorite songs on the album, because it actually started out as Summer Souls, which was the intro, another intro to the album. And it was actually the song originally dedicated to Paul Mailman, but I felt like it didn't live up to the standards yet. When I wrote this song, it was actually not written down. It is not recorded. It was not like something that was previously thought of. It was literally a one-take song. I'm not going to talk about what it's about. That's a very personal thing to me. If you want to ask me, I don't mind. I just feel like I don't want to share it with, on this video. If you want to ask me what it's about, I will definitely tell you. But if you listen to the lyrics, it's pretty clear what I'm talking about if you know exactly what the album's about and who it's dedicated to. And it's very personal to me, as is Tip of Your Tongue and things like that. But the Tip of Your Tongue demo is at the end of the song. That was a surprise thing due to the delay of the 25th to the 30th of the release of the album, and I thought that I wanted to give people more than what they bargained for. And I released the song on my Instagram and Facebook. People were like, "What song is that? Is that going to be on the album?" And I was like, "No." They were like, "Well, put it on there because that sounds great." And I was like, "Well, it doesn't have any beat. It sounds amateur. It sounds awful, and people love it." So I was like, "Here you go." I didn't love it, but it ends the album pretty well. It also doesn't. I didn't cut out some of the voice stuff in it, so you can hear me talking in it a little bit. Now there was some controversy about Luca Howlison, and at the end, it's a very, if you're listening to it, I've had a couple people go, "I don't like the song because of the ending." I got that today, actually. People were like, "This kind of creeps me out. It gives me a weird vibe, and I don't like it." I'm sorry about that. If you listen to Luca Howlison, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. The story that pertains to him is the reason the song is what it is. And going off stories, The Enthusiast is about a man who, just sharing some of the songs, which I don't mind doing, is about a man who, whoever he touches turns younger. So he can never really fall in love with anyone, and he can't really be with his family forever because when he touches himself, he doesn't turn young. It even explains that a lot in the lyrics, and the lyrics are fantastic to me. I absolutely loved writing the song, especially since it was the starter to the Blue Balloon, along with Ask for Mercy and the title itself. The story is beautiful, especially if you listen to it. He wants to go back to Michigan, and everywhere he goes, he just gets older and older. And everyone he finds gets younger and younger. He hates it, and there's some personal songs on there, such as like We Heard It From the Basement, which is about my father. And I'm trying to think about 1996. Wow. No, I did not rip off Taylor Swift 1989. I apologize to her. I apologize to everybody who might go, "It's such a Taylor Swift ripoff." And no, that's not true. I was going to write out the words. I figured it was cooler to write out the number. I'm sorry if you get offended and you're like, Taylor Swift did it first. Yes, she did. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to take it. I just thought it was a beautiful title. I was born in 1996. I'm now 19 years old, and the song pertains to me taking advantage of opportunities in life. My favorite line from that song is, opportunity is not as forgiving as I thought, and that song just beats my heart. So, I mean, I love it. A Woven Child, you just have to figure that one out yourself. Looking at my track list, just thinking, every one of these songs was perfectly written. A lot of backtracking on it. I had to, choreograph my guitar. It took me hours to figure out what I wanted to play backwards and what I didn't and how to make it sound right. I mean, it was a lot of work for me, guys. And when you hear it, I really hope you appreciate it. And you sit there and you go, damn, I gotta listen to this song again. Excuse me. But here, other than that, the whole album is just terrific. It's the album I'm most proud of. I feel like I really pushed myself to write some of these songs and to be more successful with this album. I'm praying it gets discovered. Please share it with whoever you can. Get it out there. If you're a fan of my music, please do. If you're new here and you haven't met me yet and you think this video is so boring because you've never heard my music, feel free to check it out. And like I said, go on Spotify. Don't just buy it yet. Check it out first. See how you like it. And then come back to me. Post anywhere. Comment anything. Give me criticism. Tell me how much you loved it, liked it. Tell me if Philip, your Taylor Swift riffed off and I hated it. Tell me anything you want to know because your feedback means everything to me. I write for myself, but I also write to connect with you guys. So that way you can feel like your stories are involved in this song just as much as mine. I've never written to impress myself as much as I've written to impress others with the idea that they're hearing themselves in the song. It's not about me. It's never been about me. It's always been about you guys. And considering half my fans are my friends from high school, and a few other ones that come and go, I really appreciate all the support over the years, everyone. And Miss L, thank you so much for letting me use Paul's name. And thank you, Paul, for, just giving me the inspiration. Because without him, I probably would have never written this album. I wouldn't have known about it. It never would have came to me. Thank you, Milo, again, for the amazing album art. Matt Levine for pushing me to write this album. And, there were times where I was like, I'm not sure if I'm going to finish this up. And I talked to him about it, and he was like, hey, man, you just gotta keep working on it, and we'll get the CDs published, it'll be great. So I kept going, and everybody was right. Lo and behold, everything worked out. Just praying that maybe a few more people hear it, and I gain a couple more fans. Like I said, hard copies will be available in a couple days. I'll post a video about them later, and be sure to go follow me on my Instagram, Philip Griggs Music, or my personal, Mr. Phil Cube. My SoundCloud is Mr. Phil Cube. Basically, everything after follows Mr. Phil Cube. So be sure to check those out. Different tracks and things from seasons and stuff are available for free on there too, as well as Spotify, on my SoundCloud. Thank you so much, everyone, again, for the support. I really loved writing this album. Thank you so much if you sat through the video and listened to me talk my head off without a piece of paper in front of me to tell me subjects. I can't wait to hear some reviews from you guys, and I can't wait to see if this album really does take off. And let's keep our fingers crossed that maybe a tour will come up. Let's keep our fingers crossed that maybe I'll get a record deal. Let's just hope, guys. And maybe one day the people who have the original tracks or have seen the first videos will be like, I knew that guy, when he was, crap. It's like, because if you look at my old videos, they're terrible. Okay, anyway, but thank you so much, guys, for all your support. I hope you really enjoy the Blue Balloon. Remember, it's available on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, Move, whatever device you're on. And thank you so much, everyone. Yeah.